It was one of those days that started off completely ordinary but ended up being anything but. Anna had just finished her morning yoga routine and was sipping on a cup of herbal tea when the doorbell rang. She wasn't expecting anyone, but curiosity got the better of her. She set her cup down, smoothed out her silk dress, and made her way to the front door. When she opened it, there he was. Lucas. He stood there with a toolbox in one hand and a clipboard in the other. His dark hair slightly messy from the wind. His green eyes met hers. And for a moment, Anna felt a strange flutter in her chest. "Hi, I'm Lucas," he said, his voice calm and confident. "I'm here to fix the electrical issue you called about." Anna blinked, momentarily caught off guard. She hadn't expected the electrician to be, well, him. "Oh, right," she replied, quickly regaining her composure. "Come on in." As Lucas stepped inside, Anna couldn't help but notice the way his presence seemed to fill the room. He was taller than she had initially thought, and there was an air of quiet confidence about him that was both intriguing and unsettling. She led him to the living room, where the faulty wiring was causing the lights to flicker. "It's been acting up for a while," Anna explained, gesturing to the chandelier above. "I've had a few people look at it, but no one seems to know what's wrong." Lucas nodded, his eyes scanning the room with a practiced ease. "I'll take a look," he said, setting his toolbox down. "Shouldn't take too long." As he worked, Anna found herself lingering nearby, pretending to organize some books on the shelf. She couldn't quite put her finger on it, but there was something about Lucas that drew her in. Maybe it was the way he moved, so deliberate and sure of himself. Or maybe it was the way his fitted t-shirt clung to his broad shoulders, hinting at the strength beneath. "So, how long have you been doing this?" Anna asked, trying to make conversation. "A few years," Lucas replied, not looking up from his work. "I started out as an apprentice, but I've always been good with my hands." Anna felt a faint blush creep up her cheeks at the comment. She quickly turned her attention back to the books, but her mind was racing. What was it about this young man that made her feel so flustered? After a while, Lucas stood up and wiped his hands on a cloth. "All done," he announced. "The wiring was just loose. Should be fine now." "Thank you," Anna said, genuinely grateful. "Can I get you something to drink? Coffee? Water?" Lucas hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Water would be great, thanks." As Anna fetched the water, she couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter was far from over. There was something about Lucas, something magnetic, that made her want to know more. When she returned with the glass, Lucas was standing by the window, looking out at the sprawling garden. "You have a beautiful home," he said, turning to face her. "Thank you," Anna replied, handing him the water. "It's been my sanctuary for years." Their eyes met again, and for a moment, neither of them spoke. The silence was heavy with unspoken words, a tension that neither of them was ready to acknowledge. Finally, Lucas broke the silence. "Well, I should get going," he said, setting the glass down. "But if you ever need anything else fixed, don't hesitate to call." "I will," Anna replied, her voice softer than she intended. As she watched him walk out the door, Anna couldn't help but feel that this was just the beginning. Something had shifted in the air, and she knew that her life was about to change in ways she couldn't yet imagine. Weeks had passed since Lucas's first visit, and Anna found herself thinking about him more often than she cared to admit. It wasn't just his looks, though she couldn't deny he was strikingly handsome. It was the way he carried himself, the way he spoke, the way he seemed to see right through her. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Anna decided to call him again. This time, it wasn't for an electrical issue. She needed help with a stubborn cabinet door in her kitchen that refused to stay closed. When Lucas arrived, he was dressed in the same casual jeans and fitted t-shirt, his hair slightly messy as if he'd just come from another job. "Hey, Anna," he greeted her with a warm smile. "What's the problem this time?" Anna led him to the kitchen, trying to ignore the way her heart skipped a beat at the sound of her name on his lips. "It's this cabinet," she said, pointing to the offending door. "It won't stay closed, no matter what I do." Lucas nodded, pulling out a screwdriver from his toolbox. "Let me take a look." As he worked, Anna leaned against the counter, watching him. There was something mesmerizing about the way his hands moved. So precise and confident. She found herself wondering what it would be like to feel those hands on her skin. And the thought sent a shiver down her spine. So, how's life been treating you? Lucas asked, breaking the silence. Oh, you know, Anna replied, trying to sound nonchalant. Same old, just trying to keep this place in one piece. Lucas chuckled, and the sound sent a warmth through her chest. Well, you're doing a pretty good job. This place is amazing. Thanks, Anna said, smiling. It's been my home for a long time. Their eyes met, and for a moment, the air between them felt charged with electricity. Anna quickly looked away, her heart pounding in her chest. What was it about this man that made her feel so alive? After a few minutes, Lucas stood up and closed the cabinet door with a satisfying click. There you go, he said, good as new. Thank you, Anna said, genuinely grateful. Can I get you something to drink? Coffee? Water? Lucas hesitated for a moment. Then nodded. Coffee sounds great. As Anna brewed the coffee, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just a casual visit. There was something between them, something unspoken but undeniable. When she handed him the coffee, their fingers brushed, and the contact sent a jolt through her. Lucas's eyes met hers, and for a moment, neither of them spoke. The tension between them was palpable. A silent acknowledgement of the attraction they both felt but hadn't yet acted on. Thanks, Lucas said, his voice soft. You're welcome, Anna replied, her voice barely above a whisper. They sat at the kitchen table, sipping their coffee and talking about everything and nothing. The conversation flowed easily, as if they'd known each other for years. But beneath the surface, there was an undercurrent of tension. A silent understanding that something was about to happen. As the evening wore on, Anna found herself leaning closer to Lucas, drawn to him in a way she couldn't explain. And when he finally stood up to leave, she felt a pang of disappointment. I should get going, Lucas said, his voice tinged with reluctance. Yeah, of course, Anna replied, trying to hide her disappointment. As she walked him to the door, Lucas turned to face her. Thanks for the coffee, he said, his eyes searching hers. Anytime, Anna replied, her heart racing. For a moment, they stood there, the tension between them almost unbearable. And then, without a word, Lucas leaned in and kissed her. It was a soft, tentative kiss, but it sent a wave of warmth through Anna's entire body. She kissed him back, her hands tangling in his hair as the world around them seemed to fade away. When they finally pulled apart, Lucas looked into her eyes, his expression a mix of surprise and desire. I've wanted to do that since the first time I saw you, he admitted. Anna smiled, her heart full. Me too. As she watched him walk out the door, Anna knew that this was just the beginning. Something had shifted between them, and she couldn't wait to see where it would lead. The days that followed were a whirlwind of emotions for Anna. Her relationship with Lucas had deepened in ways she hadn't anticipated. But it wasn't without its challenges. The age difference between them was something they both tried to ignore. But it lingered in the back of their minds like a shadow. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Lucas turned to her with a serious expression. Anna, we need to talk, he said, his voice tinged with unease. Anna's heart skipped a beat. What's wrong? She asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Lucas took a deep breath. I've been offered a job in another city, he admitted. It's a great opportunity, but it means I'd have to move away. The words hit Anna like a punch to the gut. She had known this day might come, but she hadn't expected it to be so soon. How long would you be gone? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. At least a year, Lucas replied, his eyes searching hers. Maybe longer. Anna felt a lump form in her throat. She didn't want to hold him back, but the thought of being without him was unbearable. What do you want to do? She asked, her voice trembling. Lucas hesitated for a moment, then reached for her hand. I don't know, he admitted. I want to take the job, but I don't want to lose you. The sincerity in his voice brought tears to Anna's eyes. She squeezed his hand, trying to find the right words. Lucas, I don't want to hold you back, she said finally. If this is what you want, Then you should go. Lucas's eyes filled with emotion. But what about us? He asked, his voice breaking. Anna took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. We'll figure it out, she said, her voice firm. Distance doesn't have to mean the end. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The weight of the decision hung heavy in the air. But there was also a sense of determination. They both knew that their relationship was worth fighting for, no matter the challenges. The next few weeks were a blur of preparations and goodbyes. On the day of Lucas's departure, Anna stood at the airport with him, trying to hold back her tears. I'll call you as soon as I land, Lucas promised, his voice thick with emotion. I'll be waiting, Anna replied, her voice trembling. As they hugged goodbye, Anna felt a surge of passion and determination. She knew that this wasn't the end, it was just the beginning of a new chapter. Over the next few months, they stayed in touch through phone calls and video chats. The distance was hard, but it also brought them closer in ways they hadn't expected. They shared their hopes and fears, their dreams and insecurities, and through it all, their love only grew stronger. One evening, as they were talking on the phone, Lucas surprised her with an unexpected question. Anna, what would you say if I told you I wanted to come back? Anna's heart leapt with joy. I'd say yes, she replied without hesitation. The next week, Lucas returned, and their reunion was filled with passion and relief. They had faced the challenges and come out stronger on the other side. As they stood together on the porch, watching the sunset once more, Anna felt a sense of peace. She knew that their journey wasn't over, there would be more challenges ahead. But she also knew that as long as they had each other, they could face anything. The months following Lucas's return were a whirlwind of emotions and revelations. Their relationship had weathered the storm of distance. But now, it was time to face the deeper truths that had been simmering beneath the surface. One evening, as they sat by the fireplace, Anna turned to Lucas with a serious expression. There's something I need to tell you, she said, her voice trembling slightly. Lucas looked at her, his eyes filled with concern. What is it? He asked gently. Anna took a deep breath, her heart pounding in her chest. Before I met you, I was in a long-term relationship that ended badly, she admitted. It left me with a lot of scars. And I've been afraid to open up completely since then. Lucas reached for her hand, his touch warm and reassuring. Anna, you don't have to be afraid with me, he said softly. I'm here for you, no matter what. Tears welled up in Anna's eyes as she felt the weight of her past begin to lift. Thank you, she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. In that moment, something shifted between them. The walls that Anna had built around her heart began to crumble. And she felt a sense of freedom she hadn't known in years. As the weeks went by, they continued to open up to each other, sharing their deepest fears and dreams. Lucas told her about his own struggles with self-doubt and the pressure to prove himself in his career. Anna, in turn, shared her fears of growing older and feeling like she had missed out on certain opportunities in life. Their conversations were raw and honest, and they brought them closer than ever before. They laughed together, cried together, and supported each other through the ups and downs of life. One evening, as they were walking along the beach, Lucas stopped and turned to Anna. There's something I've been wanting to ask you, he said, his voice filled with emotion. Anna's heart skipped a beat. What is it? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Lucas took a deep breath, then got down on one knee. Anna, I love you more than anything in this world, he said, his eyes filled with love and determination. Will you marry me? Tears streamed down Anna's face as she looked into his eyes. Yes, she replied, her voice trembling with joy. Yes, I will marry you. As Lucas slipped the ring onto her finger, Anna felt a surge of happiness and gratitude. She had never imagined that she would find love again, let alone with someone as wonderful as Lucas. Their wedding was a small, intimate affair, held in the backyard of Anna's home. Surrounded by their closest friends and family, they exchanged vows and promised to love and support each other for the rest of their lives. As they danced under the stars that night, Anna felt a sense of peace and fulfillment she hadn't known in years. She knew that their journey wasn't over, there would be more challenges ahead. But she also knew that as long as they had each other, they could face anything.